What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the SoCal Tram. I'm Matt.
And I'm Cesar.
And today, before we get into this fancy-looking bottle that may be new to some of you, we just want to say, if you're new here, did you know that only 83% of the views on this channel come from people just like you who are not subscribed? So do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. It's free and it's fun, and it really does help the channel, so we appreciate you. And everybody who's a return viewer, we appreciate you coming back time and time again. Nonetheless, everybody hit that little bell. That way you know whenever we drop a brand new video. Caesar, what we got on the bar today?
What do we got today? Is something from your bar, my brother.
That's right. It's review number 99. Get hyped, get ready, because next week's review 100. But today is no slouch. It's the penultimate number 99. We got Springbank 10-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey from Campbeltown. Let's head on down to Campbeltown. So, Springbank 10-year-old, folks. If you've never had the Springbank Funk, you need to get into it. That's right. We're going to take you on down to Campbelltown, a.k.a. Funk Town.
Yeah. Oh, I knew you were going to do that. Woo! I was going to say that, too.
Actually nailed that without any planning. So, Springbank is the Springbank Distillery is a family-owned single malt whiskey distillery on the Kintyre, I probably pronounced that wrong, Peninsula in Western Scotland. Licensed in 1828, Springbank is one of the last surviving producers of single malt whiskeys in Campbelltown, an unpeated malt whiskey that it bottles under three distinct brands. The majority of its distillate is bottled as a single malt, with a small percentage sold to larger blenders. Springbank is the only Scottish distillery to perform every step in the whiskey making process, from malting of the barley to the bottling of the spirit. They maintain a traditional malting floor that provides for 100% of their distillate. The barley is then dried using peat sourced from Islay and for various lengths of time, usually between 30 to 48 hours, to imbue different levels of the smoky flavors associated with Scotch whiskey. The unpeated malt becomes Hazelburn, whereas medium and heavily peated malts become the distillery's Springbank and Longrow offerings, respectively. Springbank is known for having bold flavors, some of which may or may not sound appealing depending on your level of interest in whiskey tasting. So, let's do it. That was a lot of words, very wordy, very mouthful. If you haven't figured it out by now, folks, we laid those fancy B-roll cards in here to cover up for the fact that we're looking at a laptop. Because I can't memorize all that. It's been a long time since theater. What's going on with your glass over here?
Oh, no, man. It's a little bit of smoky season.
See, what's funny to me about that is, for those of you who have had Springbank, you know what we're about to get into. For those of you who have not had Springbank, it's a funky adventure. And a lot of people try it and they're like, no thank you. There's a difference between like smoke, and then there's a difference between Springbank. Springbank is kind of like the mistress of the Scotch whiskey world, I would like to say. Like, it's one of those things where once you've had it and you're into Scotch, you keep coming back. It's one of those things where it is just a lovely dram, and it's one of those things where I've had this bottle for a while now. I don't hit it all that often, but when I do, it's usually a 2-ounce pour, and it's lasting me all night. So what are your expectations as we get into this?
Well, to be honest,
because you've had it. I know you've had it.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like we say, for example, quick example.
This is going to be where we get kicked off the internet, I can tell.
No. Peaty whiskey, right? You know, it's something that when I first got into whiskey, I wasn't too fond about, but the more you get into it, the more I'm like, all right, now let's get into peaty whiskey. I think the same goes for Springbank Funk. Like, at the beginning, you might not like it, but then the more you go on your whiskey journey, you're, like, more inclined to expand your horizons, therefore go into peat and funk. With my whiskey journey, I think I'm gonna enjoy this Springbank Funk Town, because I love that funky town.
Yeah, I mean, I first had some Springbank. We were at McAllen's, and I don't remember if I was with you or if I was with other people. I don't know. I feel like every time I've been there, I've only ever been once without you. So I feel like you were there. But like I was looking on their whiskey list, and if you've never checked out McAllen's website just to look at the whiskey list, go on their Yelp, McAllen Public House in Brea, California, and you will see that they have an obnoxious whiskey list. And I was looking at the Campbeltown section, and I'm just like, they don't have no Kilkerran, but they do have Springbank, and I've never had it. Let me go ahead and try it. So I asked the who I didn't know at the time was the GM, Carlos, and he was like, yeah, I got a Springbank, but now I'm out of the 10 and the 12. He goes, but I have some of the 9 local barley. And I had recently seen, I think it was the Scotch for Dummies review it. And I was like, sure, I'll try that. And he gave me a pour, and I was like, holy crap balls, this is amazing. So I quickly bought a bottle of Springbank 10 as soon as I found it. I want to say about $70 is what I paid for this guy. And so far it's been worth every penny. So without any further ado, let's get into number 99.
Oh, yeah.
Floral, like rose water. Kind of like when you get flowers for your girl and then she doesn't clean them up, so you have to dump it. That water.
You know what? That's a bullseye right there. That's a bullseye. That's a bullseye.
Like there's that funky, moldy water note, but I'll tell you folks, if you can get past it, I know people are going to listen to that and go, why would I ever want to drink that? Trust us.
Yeah, that nailed it.
But there's fruit underneath that, though.
Oh yeah, folks. As a wise man once said, "Take me down to funky town."
You have to actually lay in like a gif of Tally walking across the screen.
Tally, yep.
If you don't do that, I'll be thoroughly disappointed.
Funky town.
I'll put it in here. Tally, you are just the worst.
No, but all seriousness.
Smells like a moldy towel.
It does smell like a moldy towel, and it almost tastes like it, but it's actually enjoyable. It's so think of it as this: like you smell a moldy towel, and then you're like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. And then once it lands, like it's like wow, like it's backed up with flavors that you can actually enjoy and tangibly, you know. So it's just like wow, it was funky. Like it's kind of funky at first, but then it's so backed up with really good flavors to where it smoothens it out. Like where it's like, hey, this is actually good stuff, and it's actually a staple Springbank flavor I get.
There's a certain Campbeltown funk that you get across Kilkerran, Springbank. I mean, if you remember the Kilkerran 8 we had, even the 12, right? Like you can check both those out up here respectively. Sorry about the 12, my mic died. But there's a certain hurdle that you have to get through. And I remember the first time I had a Springbank or a Kilkerran, I was just like, I don't know. And then like I took the sip, and that first hit was like, and then just beautiful malty fruit, like just it's like you got to get punched in the face to get back up, I guess. But it's one of those things to where it sounds unappealing to a person who's not a whiskey enthusiast or somebody who likes sipping on spirits, but once you get into it, it just offers you so much. And it's like, this is a bottle why I drink whiskey. Like this is a bottle that I'm like, this is one that proves why every bottle up here actually is different, right? Why you could go into something and it's like, wow, this offers something completely different from this bottle, even though they're both Scotch or both bourbon or whatever. Like this shows you what you can actually get into, or for lack of a better word, it's going to show you what you think you like.
And to be honest, going off that, like as far as like narrowing it down on the flavor, he's absolutely right. It's fruity. To be honest, for me, it tastes like for the Caucasian folk would be pear, kind of tastes like a pear. But for the Hispanic folk, I think it tastes like not Jamaica. No, it's not Jamaica. There's this white fruit that Mexicans like to put a bunch of lime and jicama. There we go. That's what it's called. Jicama. It's this white fruit that's literally almost flavorless.
You know white people can eat jicama too.
What?
No, I'm saying we can eat.
Oh, white people can. I thought it was a question.
No, white people.
Okay.
White cake.
Yeah. It reminds me of jicama. It reminds me a lot of jicama. Of pear and jicama. Those are the two fruits I get out of it for sure.
It's got a little bit of that neutral fruit flavor, but it's still just like it's not like, citrusy orange. It's not tart lemon. It's not like ruby fruits, things like that. It's just kind of like that neutral fruit flavor. Yeah. That it's lovely because it's like adding syrup to tonic water, and then you get Coke, right? It's kind of the thing to where you get one of those things to where it's such a neutral flavor, but it's complemented by everything else that's going on in the glass that you make this wonderful whiskey. And again, $75, 10 years old, it's 46% ABV. I've got no complaints on a neat pour. I've never had this one with water, so I'm curious to see what it does with it. But I think the flavors are strong enough where it's going to hold it. But again, we'll see. I could be wrong on this one. I need to get another. I always have my eye on the Springbank 12 cast strength, but every time I'm like, all right, I'm going to pull the trigger today, I go and it's like nowhere to be found.
Yeah, no, but you're right. That Kilkerran is probably a staple for me as far as...
It's my number one last year.
Campbeltown Funk.
It's my number one last year. And this may creep into my number or my top 5 this year. We got to start thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's like I'm probably on the next shoot.
Dude, that's crazy how fast it's been because to be honest, the last time I thought about rating for my...
This is where Cesar and I reminisce.
Yeah, the last time I thought about rating for your review, it was like, I didn't think it was too long ago, but we're in freaking October now.
I know,
yeah. It's like, all right, here we are again. It's like...
2 years?
I only have 2 choices so far. It's like, what's going on?
It's funny, when this comes out, and we made a big deal of it last year, right? Because it was our first year, and it's like, wow, this is crazy. When this comes out, if the schedule holds up, this is 2 years. Today, this is 2 years that we've been doing this. This is insane. So cheers to that, because I didn't think we'd make it to 10 episodes. So here we are cruising up on 100 in 2 years. So if you've been sticking with us from the journey from day one, hey, we appreciate the hell out of you guys. And not saying that we don't appreciate the new people that have come around. We love all of you. But, people that come to mind, Whiskey Straight Al, the Test Dummies, all those guys. We love all you guys. You guys are great. The whiskey community is probably the best community on YouTube.
100%. Nothing but love and respect from all you guys, and that's what we try to give back. So, yeah, especially, you know what? I'd like to call out Whiskey Straight Out, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Whiskey Straight Out, man. I appreciate you from the beginning, man. From the beginning. Appreciate you, man.
I mean, he doesn't like your takes on Wild Turkey.
Yeah, I know he does.
Oh, it reminds me. I owed you that from him.
Yeah.
I told you I'd get it.
Welcome.
He also didn't care for your takes on E.H. Taylor.
And you know what's funny? I thought more people would agree with me on not liking Wild Turkey 101, but it looks like
everyone tells you you're crazy.
Against me. It's like, damn, am I the one that doesn't like it? If I am, okay, but if not, please write down in the comments because, bro, I'm drowning over here. Am I the only one that don't like Wild Turkey? Come on.
I think it's one of those, like, whiskey for value. You know what I mean? Like, it's $18. Williams Bottled and Bond Wild Turkey 101. You know what I mean? Like, they're right there.
So what do you think about water?
First off, the finish on the neat pour goes for days. Like, the whole time we were riffing there, it was just still going, which is huge value to this whiskey. The water, it doesn't do anything to it. The whiskey just kind of laughs it off for me. Like, it just kind of holds it. Like, it doesn't really do anything positive or negative. It just kind of laughs it off. And at 46%, that's damn impressive. For me, again, so for me, water does nothing to this. This is just a solid neutral, aspect with the water. It doesn't need it, nor does it have to have it.
So, I'm going to say this. With the water, it makes it more funky.
Interesting.
But here's the thing about that though. It's like if you're an enjoyer of the Springbank Funk, and you specifically like the funk, then with the water, I think you're gonna like it because it narrows it down to more funk than anything else. But it's like I said, it's not unenjoyable. It's just a little bit more funky. I guess I could relate it to where if you love cheese and you get a cheeseburger and you're like, this is good. But if it had more cheese, so you quadruple the cheese, and now it's all a cheesy burger.
You might as well just have a grilled cheese.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, with all this cheese, that's what I'm talking about. I relate that to funk. I relate that to funk, to where if you drink Springbank, like this Springbank 10, and you're like, yeah, it's good, but I'm a little bit more inclined to the traditional funk taste. So I like the funk more on the Springbank. Oh, okay, no problem. Add a couple more drops of water, and then you get majority funk. And like I said, folks, it's not bad because where we're at in our palate, it's actually pretty good, even with water. I'm enjoying it even with water. But it definitely heightens the funk part to where if that's what you're going for, hey man, drop a couple drops of water in it, and then you get a little bit more funk to it. But yeah, it really with water it just adds more funk, and that's really it. It just kind of adds like a base overall flavor of what Springbank is all about. Not the 10-year advantage, not the extra flavors you get from it. It's just Springbank funk.
It's interesting, right? Like, again, the water for me doesn't hurt or help. It just is kind of there. This is one of those bottles where, again, funky advantage. If you're not into the funk, you're going to take some time to, probably not like it. And then, you'll come back to it eventually because they say all roads lead to Isla. I'd beg to differ. I think all roads lead to Campbeltown. Yeah. Because, again, it's like you go to Isla, which is the boss level, but then this is the bonus level where you actually get revenge for your dad in Red Dead Redemption. Like, it's one of those things to where you're like, holy hell, there's more to the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's one of those things to where, for me, again...
shoot those 13 people up the last
yeah, straight up. You're like, no, I had Deadeye on all of them. Good. But I still got that stupid cuts. Hate that game. I love that game, but I hate that game. Red Dead aside, this is a foundational whiskey for me. I would say if like you had a Mount Rushmore of whiskey, this is on it. Again, for me... Objectively, it's a damn fine whiskey. Subjectively, it's great. It's a 4.5. The only reason it's not going to be a 5 is it's a little salty on the price for a 10-year-old. But again, I get it. Scotches are up right now, so it's kind of a thing. Hopefully in 5 years, this creeps back down. But again, I'll gladly pay it again. Like, if this is out and they don't have the 12 cask strength, I will still buy this again. That's not knocking it for the price. It's just saying if it were maybe 65, this is a 5. This is a 5 all day. And you're like, oh, it's only $10. Yeah, but it's only $10. You know what I mean? $10 to make it perfect for me. But it's a 4.5 for me. Where are you going?
Before my review, I'd like to say, yeah, you're right. COVID shot the price of a lot of things up, including the price of bullets for guns, because there's so much ammo that is hard to get now. Like I have a Springfield 1911. I'm trying to get a Smith & Wesson 44 mag, and let me tell you, when I looked at those prices, it was freaking $50 for 25 rounds of a 44 mag.
Jesus.
Freaking crazy stuff.
Jesus.
But I'm still gonna probably get that gun.
I'm still gonna buy it
because it's a revolver, and I've always wanted to hear ye, you know. But anyways, back to my review. The Springbank.
It'd be like Yosemite saying, "My biscuits are burning."
Exactly.
10 points if you guess the movie.
It's a 6.5-inch barrel too, so when you're holding it, it's gonna be like yay big. That's why I was like, hear ye. But
be like the Jack Nicholson Joker in Batman, where he takes the freaking 4-foot revolver out of his pants.
That's literally that's almost what it feels like when you're holding it, especially the power that it gives is crazy. Anywho, back to the review. So I almost want to give it a little bit more for it being a 10-year, but Springbank is actually really good. I like Springbank. The Springbank Funk is good stuff in the Springbank Funk category. If you like that funky stuff, if you don't like it,
yeah, it's not gonna be for everybody.
Yeah, if you don't like it, the Islas it's gonna be like 0 for you all the way, no matter what it is. But with this and that decent funk I get, I'm gonna rate it a 3.5. I'd rate it higher. I'd probably give it a 4 if it was $10 cheaper, just like you said, if it was in that 65 category. But where it's at and what it's giving me, I'm going to give it a 3.5 for sure.
Well, folks, it's a 3.5 from Cesar. It's a 4.5 from me. But what's important, what do you think? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Is there another Springbank, Hazelburn, Longrow we should pick up? I do have a Longrow on the board, but we haven't quite got a chance to get to it yet. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Hit us up, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Remember, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Come back next week. We got review number 100. We got something special that you probably can't get, but we're going to review it anyway. So, hey, be sure to tune in. You got anything else you want to add?
No, what about you, brother?
Stay safe and drink well. All aboard! Catch you next time. Hey everybody, hope you liked that video.
Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications.
And don't forget to subscribe.
99 bottles of beer in the ball. 99 bottles. Oh, fuck, I fucked that.